Welcome back to another episode of Down to the Wire here on the SGHS Sports Stream, the podcast that breaks down the players, coaches, games, and everything in between when it comes to our local high school sports teams. We are fueled up and ready to go thanks to our friends at Ciro's Family Restaurant, the hometown spot where great food and good company always goes into overtime. Now let's get down to the wire. First, we're going to give a quick update before we get into the players, the podcast of this episode. We will first go into our sports teams, first starting off with our Dragons girls golf. They opened up their season Tuesday at Farmington and finished first place out of 7 teams, so congrats to them. Match medalist was Eleanor McClin with a 38. The girls were out again yesterday at the St. Pius tournament and came home with another first place finish. The action will continue today where the Dragons go back to Farmington for another match. So good job, girls, on a great week so far, and good luck today in Farmington. If you're wondering, we are recording this on September 4th. So this is as updated as September 4th. The varsity football team opened their season at home, defeating the St. Vincent Indians last Friday by a score of 49-35. This Friday, the Dragons travel to University City. For those attending the football game this Friday at University City, the game will start at 6. They have a clear bag policy if you plan to attend. The only students allowed to attend are University City and St. Gen students. Each student must provide a school ID at the gate if you plan to get in. The gate is cashless. Tickets can also be purchased at the gate with a credit or debit card. Congratulations to the varsity volleyball team on a second place finish last weekend out of 8 teams at the Hillsborough tournament. The girls went 3-1-1 on the day. Shout out to Emma Gegg and Emmy Brown on being named to the all-tournament team at the Hillsborough tournament. The girls captured another victory yesterday, defeating St. Paul in 3 sets. So great job, girls. The girls finished out the week today, September 4th, at home against Jefferson R7, so good luck to the ladies. And last but not least, our high school cross-country team is at St. Vincent today at 5 p.m., so good luck to all our cross players. Now, we will jump into the Down to the Wire part. I have 2 very special guests here, 2 senior football players. I'm your host, Alex Basler, but I will let themselves do their introduce.
I am Luke Ferranto. I play quarterback and safety at high school for the Dragons.
My name is Paul Taylor. I play O-line and D-line for the Ste.Genevieve.
Great introduction, boys. Now we're just going to jump into the first question I got here for you guys. So obviously, when you look back on your career when you guys are done, how have you guys grown the most from when you were even in the middle school, elementary days impact to what you are as today as a player and as a person?
You know, I started playing football when I was in the 2nd grade for impact. I was 8 years old. And, you know, when you're that young, you kind of just do what you're told, but you don't understand why you're supposed to block this guy, why are you supposed to do this, why are you supposed to do that. You don't really take in the deeper level of what you're being taught. And then once you get to middle school and high school, our coaches here really push what happens outside of football. Like, we obviously want to win football games. We obviously prepare all summer and that previous week to win those games. But our coaches really push the deeper meaning of football and why you need to take some of these values outside of football and apply them to later in life.
Yeah, and I second what he said. They really do push on, you know, taking care of yourself and your life and kind of growing not only as a football player and a student, but also as a man and figuring out what lessons they teach you on the field and in the locker room, how those translate into later on in life whenever you have a family of your own and kids of your own and you're passing down those values to those kids. As for football, I only started playing in middle school, so I never really had a connection with the game. And then I started playing again sophomore year, and then, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. You guys go into the coaches and kind of how it's been throughout all your years. Like you said, Paul, you just started in middle school, so it's like it's a different game. Like Luke said, played impact every level. It's a higher pace, higher level that you have to get to be able to compete at the highest level. And I think you guys have all grown as a person and individually. Like, being leaders out there is very important, and that starts at a young age, right? Your coaches do a great job of teaching you those kind of habits that help you later in life. So as we talk about kind of our teammates and coaches, what is kind of the relationship that you have with your teammates, especially since this is your senior year and all the seniors are going to go with you? Like you said, Luke, you've played with all these seniors for however long you have. And Paul, you have been playing with these guys too. So what is kind of that bond you guys have between the teammates and the coaches?
Yeah, you know, we've all been going to school together for, you know, this is going to be our 13th year together. We've been playing football since we were little or middle school or whatever it is. But it's more than just being a team and coming to school and playing football. You know, we practice all summer long. It sucks. There's long days, long lifts, hot practices, and that really builds a connection together between the team whenever you do hard things like that. Whenever things are easy, you guys don't really build a connection there. But whenever you guys are going through hardships together, that's really what bonds a team together. And I feel like it's more of a brotherhood or a family than just a football team that goes out there on Friday nights.
Yeah, like Luke said, I mean, personally, I feel like most of these guys are my brothers, and I genuinely feel a connection to these people. And even coming into it late, like I knew some of the guys, I knew probably 50-60% of the team, but even then, the other 40, I didn't really know them. I didn't really have a connection to them. But being around them and going through these hard times with them and really putting our heads down and working together and just figuring out what kind of people we are has really just brought us all together, and I feel like that camaraderie is really going to lead to a more successful season than we've seen in the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's a great point that you guys go into, how the chemistry that you guys have been playing with each other so long can kind of impact, like you said, Paul, can impact like how this year can be played. Like when you talk about chemistry as a team, it's more than just on the field, it's also off the field. So when you can go out and to eat with each other, do certain games with each other, like that helps camaraderie, builds chemistry, and helps just overall just the funness, I guess, of your team and going out there and playing. So as we talk about kind of the class of 2026 for football seniors, obviously you guys are both seniors, we went into that, but how do you guys want to be remembered, right? How do you want other people to talk about you when you leave this place and the coaches and family members, grandparents, families come back to this beautiful high school we have? How do you guys want to be remembered?
Yeah, you know, the senior class every year obviously changes a lot. It depends on what kids you have, what values they hold, and what they really stand for in the school. And playing football is more obvious. It's just more than playing on Friday nights. You have to install in the younger kids the values that you've learned as you've gotten older. And the longer that you pass that down, the wiser they'll become and the better this football program will do.
Like Luke said, I mean, the further you pass it down, the more important it becomes. And I still remember the senior classes from last year and whenever I first started playing sophomore year, and those guys still have a special place in my heart. You know, I still remember certain things they would do during practice that necessarily probably can't talk about on here. But,
yeah,
you know, guys like Jake Schweigert, for example, he impacted this program in a huge, huge way. He's taught everybody on this offensive line so much, and just the traditions he's brought to the team and just everything. He's really made being a St. Gen Dragon really something special.
Yeah, that's a great point. You talk about kind of the people that have helped you become what you are today. What's kind of the biggest lesson that you're trying to teach these younger players, right? These freshmen, these sophomores coming in, they're really just trying to get their feet wet on the junior varsity and the varsity level. So what are you kind of trying to help them with as a person and as a player?
You know, as a player, I think it's very important to just watch, whether that's the guy in front of you taking a rep or whether that's a coach doing something. Just watching what you're supposed to do will put you in the right place and send you down the right track. If you're just standing around, not really doing much, looking off at the clouds or whatever, you're not really learning anything. Taking visual reps, whether that's in football, in a classroom, at your job, whatever, that's one of the most important things you can do. And as a person, I think these kids need to realize that these 4 years are really short. After these 4 years, you're on your own. And these 4 years are some of the most fun years you can have throughout your life. But what you learn here is what you take in your adulthood.
I think that one of the most important lessons that we try to pass down, or me personally, I try to pass down, is no matter how many times you get hit, punched in the mouth, whatever, you get back up and you keep trying and you keep giving your full 100% effort, no matter what you're doing. Just keep on trucking, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, that's a great point. You guys both go into kind of how you just keep on going. And like you said, Luke, once like these 4 years are done, like they're done. You ain't going to be able to come back and play high school football. And I know like I play too, but you guys will admit like the coaches preach that. Like once you're done, like you're done. Like you better not take this for granted because like this is all you got. So like when you go out there every single play for your brothers and just go out there and play your hardest every single time, no matter what.
You're watching the SGHS Sports Stream. Brought to you by Ciro's Family Restaurant. For over 30 years, Ciro's has been serving the best pizza, pasta, and suds in St. Genevieve. Grab a table, sit outside, or pre-order for curbside pickup. Ciro's Family Restaurant, downtown, St. Jen's oldest family restaurant and a proud sponsor of SGHS Sports. Click on the QR code or go online to check out their updated menu at cirosrestaurant.com/menus.
Now, you guys are seniors, obviously, so you guys are about to graduate. What are some of the plans that you have for after football, right? After, we know some of you guys, we know, Paul, you do track, Luke, you do baseball. We know those seasons will come up, but what are your guys' plans to do after you graduate St. Gen High School?
Yeah, I would like to get a football scholarship to go to a 4-year university, but obviously I need a backup plan, and I'm enrolled in the A-plus program, which I would get 2 years of junior college or community college for free. So I'd get my general studies out of the way, and it'd be free. Or if I do get an academic scholarship to go to a 4-year university, I could also look into that too. But I definitely want to go into school after I graduate, and I'd like to pursue physical therapy or sports medicine.
Right now, for me, the plan is to email some bigger schools during the winter, ask them to watch me this track season, see if I can maybe pull a athletic scholarship out of that. If by chance that doesn't happen, plan on attending a 4-year university, kind of like Luke. I don't really have a major lined up right now. We're just going to see where that goes. But, everything's going to turn out good. Always does.
Yeah, that's great points you guys go into. It looks like you guys both kind of want to do the sports route, but you guys will each have a backup plan, which is something that everybody should take in. If you have a plan, have another plan to follow it just in case something goes wrong, kind of like a plan A, plan B. Now, what's kind of the biggest life lesson you guys will take from football to when you go into those 4 universities, right? The coaches preach so much throughout the year and throughout the summer and throughout all the years that what are you guys going to kind of take from that and transfer it over to when you are an adult, you're a man, you're ready to take on your own life?
I think the biggest thing that has stuck with me through high school is battling through adversity. And in football, you battle through adversity every single day, whether it's hot or whether if you're having a physical practice and you get hit over and over and over again. In a game, you get hit over and over and over again. You have to be able to get back up after that. You can't just stay down and feel sorry for yourself. And after these 4 years, let's say you go off to college and you fail an exam. You can't just pout about it. You got to do something about it. You got to study. You got to retake the test, whatever. And if you have a job and you get demoted, you don't get that raise, you don't get promoted, whatever it is, you have to be able to get back up after that. You can't just sit around and feel sorry for yourself. You have to be able to battle through adversity.
Biggest thing I think I'm going to take with me after this year wraps up is, dive in, experience things. That's how you learn, but have a plan ultimately. Because I feel like if you just walk through life willy-nilly, not really having a plan and just kind of parading around doing whatever you want, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to grow as a person. You're not going to contribute to the overall well-being of the world and yourself. So experience stuff, fail, make mistakes, but learn from them and have a plan.
Yeah, those are great points you guys go into about kind of what football means to you guys and what will you take from football, right? The coaches, and I went into this earlier, but coaches and us players, like we preach so much throughout the year, you almost forget it all, but there's always that one thing that just clicks and you'll remember it forever, wherever you're at in life. So that is just ultimately great ideas from both of you. So we're going to kind of go into more of, I wouldn't say the more fun questions, but interesting, exciting questions about kind of your career and, some questions about some teammates. So what is kind of, obviously you guys, Paul, I believe you played 3 years of football, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And then Luke, you've played obviously all 4. What is kind of the most memorable game or play that you'll remember throughout your whole high school career? And we still have some career left senior year, so maybe if we win a district championship, that'll be the most memorable career. But we'll go what they're based off right now.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, we still have a lot of season left, but so far, my most memorable moment is beating Central in the regular season my sophomore year. And going into that game, we did not have a good record against Central in the years coming up to that game. And I kind of remember eating that meal before the game and going through our walkthrough, something was just kind of different. And we go on the field, we score first drive, and everybody's excited. And you could just kind of feel that something was going to be different in that game. In that game, we built on top of each other. Whenever somebody had good play, everybody was there congratulating him. Whenever somebody else had a good play, everybody was there congratulating him. And that game, I wouldn't say it turned around our program, but it kind of lit a fire in us. I think beating a team that has just beat us over and over and over again kind of showed us that if we just put our minds to something and we stay determined and we work at it, you can do a lot of great things. You can do a lot of great things.
Yeah, that game's definitely up there with me too. That one, God, that game was so much fun.
Hot topic.
A game that stands out to me particularly is Dexter's sophomore year and Dexter's senior year, because Dexter's sophomore year, we had just finished up the season. We just played Fredericktown, and we were kind of down because we had a couple injuries, and we had one ejection that game.
We won't go into that.
But we went down to Dexter, and before this, I'd never even heard of Dexter. I didn't know who they were, where they were. I was just on the bus doing what people told me to do. And we get down there, and we start playing, and obviously going into a football game, your mindset is you're going to win. You have to win. Your priority is to win. Anything you do is to win the game. And so we get down there, and we're playing, and then all of a sudden, it's fourth quarter, and the score is like what? One apart. It's 26, 27, 27, 28, something like that.
Yeah, we were up by 1 point.
And I think they had the ball. And the seniors were all nervous. They were all biting their nails because this was one of the closest games we've ever played. So we're playing, and then it's fourth quarter, and then it's like the last drive of the game. And my guy pushes off me, and I'm chasing the quarterback in the backfield. And the seconds are winding down, and I hear yelling everywhere, and then everything just goes silent. And he throws the ball, and it's kind of like Central was that last play. Mm-hmm. Everything just goes quiet in the stadium. You could hear a pin drop. It was silent. And then the receiver misses the ball, and the buzzer sounds. And then next thing you know, we're going to a district championship.
Yeah, I think to build off what Paul said, I think that Central game was dang near the same scenario. I think we were up by maybe 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, 4 points, whatever. And Central had the ball, and they were about on the 50. And remember, they heaved the ball up, Hail Mary basically, and the crowd was absolutely silent. You could hear a pin drop. I mean, nobody was talking, nothing. And as soon as the ball hit the ground, it was like
erupted.
It was the crowd erupted. I remember all the seniors were so excited. Everybody was hugging each other. They were throwing their helmets. They were like there were cleats flying everywhere. There was backflips going on. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it's just you could obviously tell that game meant a lot to those seniors and obviously everybody else around the team.
Yeah, I remember you guys. I wasn't playing football at the time, but I remember going to that Central game and you guys talking about the Dexter game that Paul's talking about. But those games, like, they mean something different. Like, not just for the players, but the fans. Like, you could tell the excitement by the fans for both games is just at a different level. And yes, it's like because it's the district tournament, but like it's different when like there's a higher stakes. You know how much it means to their kids out there. Like, those are parents out there that are cheering their kids. They want them to succeed. And it was just an awesome 2 games. And there's been so many great moments throughout these guys' careers, but those 2 really stick in the heads for these 2.
Yeah, and kind of just building off that, I feel like these past few years have really brought a fire back to this program, not just the program, the community as a whole, because a lot of these kids, their parents played back in the glory days or the golden age or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of those parents played, and I feel like, through the early 2000s, 2010s, it was kind of just died down, you know what I mean? And it just, these past few years have really given people hope for something greater. And I feel like that's coming.
I think one of the big things here is what Coach Pope has done for this program. Coach Pope came in, I remember his first year was our 8th grade year. And before that, the few years before that were kind of shaky, whatever. And I remember he came in and beat Festus. And I think like 8 of those guys on both sides of the ball were going to play college ball. And we had no business beating that team. But Coach Pope came in. We beat that team, and I think the worst record we've had in the past 4 years has been 7-5. And Coach Pope does a tremendous job at running this team and making sure everything's fluid and everybody's on the same page. I think Coach Pope is huge part of the recent success of the program.
He's really made this team his life. He posts the schedule throughout the week, and every single day has something under it, whether it's an ice bath, I walked in Saturday after the game last week, and I go and take an ice bath, and I go and find him. He's in his office already scouting for U-City. He's watching film. He's putting notes on there. He has devoted his life to this team and this program, and that's just something you don't see everywhere.
Yeah, he's a big shout out him in general, but like all the coaches too. We know how much all these coaches put in the time, put in the work, and it's just a tremendous effort that all of them do. And like I know these two and myself, but like the whole team like wants to give them a shout out. Like we wouldn't be anywhere near who we are without them. Like they put in all the time. Like just like Paul said, like these guys put in work over the weekend. They have kids, they have families that they could be playing with, but like they are putting in the work for us so that we could just have a good Friday night. Like that's just shows how much they want to see us succeed. We'll go through, I have two kind of funnier questions, I should say, that I'll kind of run in to end this off. So we're going to go into our teammates a little. We just went on to the coaches. Which teammate would survive the longest on a deserted island? Think deeply about this one.
That's a good question. You obviously want to say yourself, but I don't know. That's a tough question. I mean, there's 70-something kids on our roster?
Yeah, 100% around there.
Man, that's tough. John Finley is probably a good candidate. He's a pretty resourceful guy. We have some inside jokes about John, about him being a little bit of a countryman, I guess, if that's what you want to.
We're thinking of the wrong country, man. John can't survive without half pint motor oil.
Paul, do you got anybody in mind, or do you agree with John Finley?
That is a difficult question. I mean, any other day, I would probably pick the a-hole route and pick myself. But I don't know.
There's so many candidates.
I know. There's so many. And, like, we live in the kind of suburbs area, so, like, anybody is kind of really up for this grab. Like, everybody, like, lives around here, could... Honestly, I think anybody just about could do it. Like but it's a tough question. It's also a funny one, but quick shout out to John and Paul for saying himself.
I think I'm going to say Owen Roth because I don't see anything on an island taking out Owen Roth.
No.
There you go. Owen Roth and John Finley. Shout out to them. Last question here before we wrap this up. Who is most likely to forget their helmet? Right? We're starting the game. Maybe we're going on a road trip. Who's going to leave their helmet in the locker room? Who's not going to bring it?
I think there's one pretty clear answer here. Probably Justin Schweigert.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
That'd be last year we played R7 and he forgot his jersey. I think he might have forgot his cleats. I think he forgot his girdle.
It was a long day
too.
for him.
I think he had to borrow somebody's girdle.
It was a long day for Justin Schweiger, but shout out to him. And again, shout out these two seniors, Luke and Paul, both for them for taking their time out of their 7th hour to come to this class, talk about kind of what their plans are after high school, talk about how their football has been the past 4 years, and also some funny questions and some shout-outs to the coaches and the players. But we make it fun here on Down to the Wire. So thank you guys for joining us today. Tune in. Make sure you turn into our sports broadcast. We'll have podcasts uploaded weekly up on the website. You can go check that out. If you go to the St. Gen homepage, go over to the right, click on high school, and if you go over to the right again, you click on the SGHS sports stream. We'll have this podcast uploaded. I have 2 people in the back in the class that are also working on blogs too, so those are going to be up shortly. Shout out to Mr. Banks. He does a great job helping us and keeps up. He does too much work, guys, but he's dedicated and we love it, and it's unbelievable. We're trying to put in the best work for you guys. So again, shout out these guys, and we will see you guys next time.